Follow my state. I just created a page, State versus James A. Barker, and I'm going to be keeping everybody updated on my court dates, and might give you snippets from the court dates so you can see the actual corruption that's going on. So if you think I'm lying, you're looking at me like he's a crook, he look like one, or whatever you think of me, you're going to see who the real crooks is. They come in all shapes, sizes, and skin colors, and everything. I mean, I knew I got a criminal record and all that. I knew me trying to say that these hierarchy people is status quo type people, like I'm accusing them of being a criminal when society paint me as a criminal, you know what I mean? And so I knew that it was going to be hard for me to convince the white guys that run the world and the system that this stuff is going on. So I made sure I recorded it and email. Everything I do, I document it, because the depth is unbelievable. Like, I can't even believe this stuff is happening at this great amount by this many different people that's supposed to be law officials who's controlling the justice system. But the only thing it's doing is manifesting to me why Wisconsin is the worst place for black people to live for, and why our incarceration system, because it's a money machine that's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, this is, we're into what, the third episode here?
Yeah.
So, today, as we're recording this, it's July 8th, 2018. And what is your next scheduled court appearance?
I have no idea yet. I just got an email last Friday of them saying that they was postponing my trial.
So it had been scheduled for sometime in early August.
August 13th through 16th.
August 13th, all right. Now that's been postponed.
That's been postponed.
Now, I think we should probably introduce this letter that you received from the District Attorney of Walworth County. This is for Mr. Zeke Weidenfeld.
Yes.
And he's made a couple of appearances.
Yes, illegally made a couple of appearances.
Well, he's the District Attorney for Walworth County, and the person that they had, illegally assigned as a prosecutor was unavailable for medical leave or something, so he was standing in. But he was familiar enough with your case, and he came across something very, very interesting.
Yes, go ahead.
What he came across was a case involving Racine County Sheriff's Deputy Chad Shulman.
Lieutenant Deputy. So
Lieutenant Deputy Chad Shulman.
He got his stripes.
Yeah, well, and what he discovered, which was, I'm sure, disconcerting to him as a district attorney, he found out that there was a case where Lieutenant Shulman was lying.
There's a pending case,
Yeah, but I mean, he's convinced, and he's a district attorney. He's convinced that this man was lying in court,
untruthful,
giving false testimony, and so he notified the district attorney of Racine of the fact that this man was unreliable.
Yes.
And Mr. Shulman is a very, very prominent part of the case against you, correct?
Yes.
So this letter was sent to the district attorney, and somebody sent a copy of it to you.
Yeah, I think it came from
Haley Jo Johnson, I believe, right? Who works in the district attorney's office.
Yes, she's
and basically
she was the one. Basically, she's your prosecutor, the prosecutor on you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So she was making you aware that there was some things out there, and actually, and it steps into the Brady versus Maryland, which was anything that would exonerate you, being the defendant, from a case. Has to be.
They are required to give you all information.
But they haven't been doing
they get it.
But here's my the officer is accused of some fairly egregious stuff.
Yeah.
And we don't have to go into his. I'm sure it'll come out in the news. But we're here to explain the system a little bit here and how it works. Here's my problem here, and as I looked at this. I had been following James in a lot of these court cases, just kind of come in filming, and then, I'd put it away and film, put it away. And I got to go through this. And this whole warrant thing has always been kind of the piquing of my interest. And of course, it kept going. When this came out, and I saw it on your website, the date with the Racine case number was 17, meaning it was last year. Now, you've been to court 3 times. I went back and looked, and you've been to court 3 times in 2018. So this information should have been given to you from the Racine DA a year ago, if at least 8 months ago.
Right.
And that information was withheld by the DA and Sheriff Smelling.
Yeah, well, I actually tried to subpoena Lieutenant Showman to what was that? April 17th, like couple months ago.
Right. Okay.
And when the process server tried to serve Lieutenant Showman the subpoena at the sheriff department, they told him that he was on administrative leave and they wouldn't accept the subpoena, but they didn't tell me why. So this has been going on for a long time, and I mean it's just typical. I don't know why they finally decided to. I believe that right there is just like to say, hey, look, we are doing what we're supposed to do. We're giving him information, but as you can see, the date on this is June 18th, and they sent it to me. It says June 18, 2018, but the case been going on since 2017.
You just got that the other day,
I
right?
just filed the motion at the last court date. That motion was a motion to dismiss because illegal search and seizure with the search warrant on video, Lieutenant Showman holding an unsigned search warrant, and plus he handled he's the lieutenant of the evidence custodian, and so that marijuana that came up all of a sudden inventory that I'm charged with, guess who handled all that? Lieutenant Showman.
Showman handled all your evidence.
And so he's the charges that he's facing. We didn't even say what this is about. He got caught stealing allegedly 11 grand out the pocket of a dead person, and then tried to blame it on the medical examiner on the crime scene. Am I correct? That's what it is?
Well, all I know is what I got in the
It doesn't
letter.
look like he tried to pass the blame. What he tried to do is confuse the issue so that he didn't look like he took the money.
Yeah.
Right.
But he did.
But I think that goes a little deeper than this. I mean, when you talk about the information here, I mean, Shulman's maybe a bad actor, and you got bad police. But the fact is that if you read the end of this letter, the district attorney from Walworth County says, my office can assist in making reports available if you like. And those reports would be anything that Shulman was investigating or involved with. So he, the DA from Walworth County, is coming clean with this, saying, hey, whoa, my hands are off this. It's more of a, I'm not going to get involved with this. But
yeah, you guys got a problem.
You guys got a problem in Racine, and I'm not playing that game because I'm coming clean. I'm giving James Barker that information immediately, which should have been given to you 8 months or at least a year ago. And that's a major violation.
Major violation. But it's been so many major violations. That's why I don't know. Understand that the judge is very deep, but I don't know. I don't even know what to take of this. You know what I mean? They've been keeping all kind of. I mean, they destroyed the video. They destroyed the search warrants. I mean, this is basically mediocre compared to them destroying evidence. While the only time you can destroy evidence is after the case has been closed for several years. 2 years on some cases, then up to 7. Then you gotta get permission from the Wisconsin historical. You can't just destroy evidence, like, you know what I mean. You got to get.
Yeah, you have to keep it a certain amount.
My case is still open. You destroyed all the search warrants, and there was unsigned on video. And Showman and his wife. Showman is the guy executing the unsigned search warrant. His wife is the notary public to the affidavits on some of the fake search warrants. So they all in it. It's a family business. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so he just got caught stealing. But just think about how much other evidence. I bet you they do an audit of the Racine County Sheriff Department evidence room. It's all kind of stuff in there that gone, and probably stuff in there that wasn't supposed to be in there. Guns missing, everything. I mean, they running an institute and nobody is questioning it. And that's the reason why I try to talk to the NAACP. They come to my court dates, but they won't file no complaints. I try to talk to the ACLU. It's some powerful people above this case that's keeping this on the forcing this. The media won't cover it. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of scary. You know what I mean? I like right now, I just kind of came out of depression because, like, I've just spent the last, literally, since I got out on February 4th, I'm not a seasoned attorney. The 10 months I sat in jail, I first started picking up the Wisconsin books and notation and studying the law, about my case, learning the law, learning how to surf the books and stuff like that. And then when I got out, I got right in front of my computer, and I've been searching the law every day. And I mean, just seclude myself from the world, you know what I mean? And when you like that, I mean, you in a situation, even though I'm out, I'm still locked up.
You're still in jail.
You know what I mean?
Because you're confined.
I'm confined to this every day. And right when I think, okay, I'm finally going to get off, I get in front of there, they do something different. Now lately, every time I go to court, they switch to DA. I spent 2 weeks writing this motion, preparing all the evidence and the information to put in this motion to argue against this DA. Now I get there, Zeke there. I file a motion to argue one against him. Oh, Haley's there. So they new judge, you know what I mean? So they're playing this game with me, and it's like.
Well, let me go over something here that Jim brought up. 2017 is when they found these things out about Shulman.
Right.
And this is the requirements for Brady material. Brady is a case that took place in Maryland.
Correct.
And set the precedent for this. And all of the following are included. Anything actually known to or in the possession of anyone in the prosecutor's office. Anything actually known to or in the possession of the police, even if the prosecutor doesn't know about it. Anything actually known to or in the possession of anyone else acting on behalf of the state, even if the prosecutor doesn't know about it. The prosecutor is prohibited from hiding behind the excuse, I didn't know about that. Well, now this is somebody from the Racine Sheriff's Department. It's exculpatory evidence is what it boils down to. And it has to do, it's very pertinent to your case, and it was never brought forward by the District Attorney of Racine. When the District Attorney of Walworth County found out about it, he notified the District Attorney in Racine, and then it took them the better part of a month to let you know that they had sent a letter of notification to the Racine District Attorney. So the standard is they had to know about this. Not knowing about it is not an excuse. It was in their possession or in the possession of the prosecuting team, and they're on the hook.
I think it was basically let the district attorney in Walworth County, if he doesn't know anything, they use him like a pawn to convict you or to at least prosecute you, because this case is so mixed up, I guess is the word.
It's thin gruel.
Thin, very thin, and to win your freedom, you do probably have a civil case here. That's something they don't want. So if you plead out at some point, the civil case is going to go away.
Everything goes away.
But here's my read is that the district attorney from Racine, the sheriff from Racine said, let's just put this and cover this up. Let's not tell anyone about this. We'll handle this internally, and that's kind of what they're doing. They sent the investigation part of it to Waukesha, and then Racine is just kind of like, what they did though was they sent this out to Walworth to have the district attorney in Walworth look over the prosecution of this guy, because he can't leave this guy in the police force. I mean, it's just too iffy, and it's going to squeak out and look bad.
Oh, he could destroy a lot of cases.
So, but I think they didn't realize that he looks at this and says, well, I'm supposed to prosecute this officer, but yet I'm using this officer as a witness in the other case. So this is where he looks at it and says, I'm sending this letter out, and I'm making Barker aware of this. So now we've got this out there. Now it's sitting there. Now where do we go? Now where do you go? I guess is really.
I don't know where to go. It's so much. Like I've just been having nightmares about this motion and about this complaint to the Office of Law and Regulations, because nobody in power would do anything.
Yeah.
Because like I understand this.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
And I ain't in it. And I'm scared to hire an attorney, because even when I thought I had a good attorney, there's somebody or something greater power. I just spent 30 grand or so on 30-some thousand on attorneys. I don't have any more money. You know what I mean?
Well, they're convinced that you're a bad guy and you should be in jail. And despite all of the irregularities, it's more important that their careers be sustained than for you to be out of jail. So you're just a guy that you just send them away, get them to shut up.
And see, I don't think they really fear the civil part. I think what they fear is all what they've been doing coming out inside of a federal court, because in order for them a civil trial, they got to bring forth all these fake documents that they gave me. They got to testify to all this corruption and misconduct that they've done, like forging documents. These are all federal felony offenses that they have committed, and they don't want that. If they could just stroke me a check quietly just to go away, I believe they'll be glad to do that. But it's just, I'm a big mouth. I'm loud. You know what I mean? I came out here. They don't.
We noticed that. Huh?
They know, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm not the status quo. Like, I don't believe in, like, this ain't about money to me. This is about justice for all. Of all. I don't even really think it's about color. I think it's about status or class. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because I just watched them do that to their own. You know what I mean? And it's basically about class. Like, my life don't mean nothing to.
Well, we've been talking about that. Yeah, we've seen it at Foxconn. We've seen it in other places where you have all this money getting changed around, made up at the top. You know, and they're comfortable with that because these people down here just don't mean much.
Yeah.
And this is
they're in the way, but only
this
temporarily.
is just another case.
Bottom line, like, look, he's from the. You know, I got a rough background as far as like stuff that that's not controllable by me. I can't help it, the decisions that my parents made. But when I got older and I realized this ain't what it is, you know what I mean? I tried to. I went to jail from 2009 to 2011. I got my high school diploma. While I was in there, I got out, got my building construction trade, any forklift, like any opportunity that was in to me, I was after it because I'm not going back. You know what I mean?
No.
And then I had read that book, that Sam Walton book, and I mean that was even more fuel to the fire of my hustle. You know what I mean?
That's a good. You know, there's a little diamond in the rough there. That one little part there. It's just what we've been talking about. I'm talking Racine. We don't need this big corporation coming from some foreign land to come in and rescue us. We need to just loosen it up and let people develop on their own, and we'll do a lot more. And here's the case right here.
Yeah, it's just a $12 book.
Yeah,
turned it around.
Yeah, and it was free in jail because it was rotating when nobody reading it. I'm like, if a billionaire talking to me, I'm listening. You know what I mean? Real talk.
All right, I got one other thing before we close this baby up. I want to play a video. We're going back to Machinery Row because this officer Schulman was the one who was given the complaint on Machinery Row.
Oh my goodness!
His wife involved too, right? Look, Danielle Schulman, his wife, they're both. She's for.
So when we talk about the go-to guy in the sheriff's department, maybe this is it. Why is it taking a year for this complaint to seem how it just seems to filter away?
Well, just to bring people back up to date, Dennis Monte filed a complaint about Machinery Row. And he went to the sheriff's department, he went to the police department, he went to the district attorney, and it allegedly went up to the state level. Nothing has been done about it. It's been more than a year, and this thing has just been lying around. And the person whose hands it at least at one point were in is Lieutenant Chad Schulman.
Right.
What the cover letter to the complaint is. I'm requesting an investigation and possible criminal charges be instituted against Racine Mayor John Dickert, the City Administrator Tom Friedel, and the City Attorney Scott Letney. A formal complaint is attached, and not only was this formal complaint attached, but there was also a jump drive that has some video evidence on it as well. And I'm also requesting that this investigation be transferred out of Racine due to the high profile of the named individuals, and gave them the number by which I could be reached. So I asked to talk to Trish Hansen, who is the County District Attorney. She came out, and I showed it to her, and she said, we'll go to the Sheriff's Department with it. And I says, been there, done that. I says, you're the District Attorney, I want this investigated. So she told me, now this is Wednesday the 17th. She says, I will hand this to Deputy Schumann tomorrow, which would have been the 18th. By state statute, a complaint of this type has to be investigated and a decision passed down within 21 days. Now, Lieutenant Schumann assured me, before it was handed off to someone else, that, I'm fully confident that there's no conflict of interest here, and the city of the Racine County Sheriff's Department can handle this. We took care of the Gary Becker case. That's not standard practice in other communities. If it involves one of their own, it goes to another jurisdiction to remove any appearances of conflict of interest.
Yeah, pretty amazing. So.
Right.
and his wife. Also, they like, see, if you think about it, even with my case, every time someone is like I'm on somebody's heels, they get a promotion. Look, I was on Patricia Hansen heels. The Attorney General come through, endorse her for head DA. Now she's head DA. Now she's in power. I'm on Mark Nielsen heels. And Judge Jew, he retired. Look, amongst all those search warrants, it's 6 different judges' signature on the search warrant. Judge Jude, Judge Charles Constantine, Judge Wayne Merritt, Judge Patek, Judge Torhorst, and Judge Flancher. All those judges have spontaneously retired, but Flancher.
Flancher's still in there, yeah.
Just
The
Flancher.
others have all retired, yeah.
Yep.
You're chasing them out of town.
Yep. And then they got their system. Okay, now, for instance, soon as Torhorst retired, now he's chief judge, right? Who they get their boy from over there out the DA office, the tall one, Rippershak.
Yeah.
Rippershak. Now you take his seat. Now I'm telling y'all, in the next few years, Pat Cafferty going to retire and become the judge. You know what I mean? Like, they're keeping the system within them. You know what I mean? They keep all the power in their hands. You go. Whoever the bad boys is, that's who get the good positions. And like, for instance, Samuel Christensen, the clerk of court, his office is up. Some lady named, she's a black lady, and I had she's running for clerk of court against Samuel Christensen, and I got all that dirt on Samuel Christensen. He certified a document. He sent me a certified document in the mail, said this is a certified document, and that's something that if I would have known that Brian Graziano was going to testify, I could have brought that. They said the search warrants don't exist, they destroyed them, but I got an alleged copy of the search warrant to Yvonne McNeil's house that Samuel Christensen sent me, saying that it's a certified copy from the original. So if you're sending me this saying, and you stamped it saying it's a certified copy of the original, how did y'all destroy him then? You know what I mean? But anyways, I got all the proof that Samuel Christensen is in on it. Not only just Samuel Christensen, the felony case manager, Amy Vanderhoff, they're backdating and forging records. I got them on camera doing it. But they still got their job. But so Samuel Christensen probably finna resign. They finna put that lady, she a black lady, her name is, she's running. And then when I said something about her, a person replied on the comment and pulled up some documents. She was working in the DA office. Her name Connie or something like that. And she was reprimanded for doing some corruptive stuff in the DA office. So okay, she's a bad girl. Okay, yeah, you can get this clerk of court position. So you know what I mean? Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised in the next few months if Samuel Christensen announced his resignation and they endorse her. Because she's coming from the DA office.
Well, you heard it here first.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's how it's been going.
Yeah.
You can look at my Facebook stats. I wrote a stat a year ago, and I named all the judges who retired, and I said, this is going to retire next. And next thing you know, yeah, Charles Constantine, he's retiring. Wayne Merritt, he's retiring. All of them, I predicted, I see it. You know what I mean? I see exactly what's going on, how the system is being ran. They running the system. And you think about it, Racine is so important to the private prison system. They don't want me to put no plight in the impediment in what they got going on, and if it was just one
big business,
if it was one person did wrong, then maybe they'll reprimand him. But it's too many people, and if they had to reprimand that many people, think about the backup that it's going to do to the justice system of the whole state of Wisconsin. If they ain't got bodies going in and out the prisons coming from Racine, because we one of the top incarcerators in the state of Wisconsin. If they can't keep the Racine County Jail and 4 judges get fired at the same time, you know what I mean, and 26 or 6 or more deputies get fired at the same time, DAs get fired at the same time, they got to fill all these seats.
I've often said that somewhat cynically. You know, we have to keep these kids. You know, they're worried about the children, and we got to make sure the children survive, because otherwise you don't have people to pay taxes, put in jail.
Yeah.
You know?
Right, you got to fund.
So you got
Right.
Yeah, you got.
It's a funding source.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's.
Well,
well, there you go. It's
Jim
James. Luke. Thanks for coming by, man. Appreciate your time.
I appreciate it too.
You're doing
Yeah.
you're doing good work. You really are.
Yeah.
And
Keep watching you.
you know, a lot of
Yeah,
people are going to
it'd
appreciate
be
it.
interesting to follow this. We're just going to have to keep tab on this one because starting with those bad search warrants, that right at the outset, you've got a real problem there. There was one case.
Well, we got a whole
was
roster
thrown
of
out
things to keep
where
tabs on.
remember the chief of police went over and just filed something without signing
seal.
under
Right,
oath.
that's-
It got thrown out. I mean,
Yeah.
it was an obvious thing, but the chief just thought, well, I'm just the chief. I don't
Right,
need to
I
sign
can do it. I don't have to have
You
a firm.
trust me.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's got to
Exactly.
be a sworn
Actually, that
affidavit.
became a published opinion too.
Yeah, published opinion. And I hired the attorney who got that opinion published, and he wouldn't argue his own published opinion. And that's why I fired him. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Hang in there.
Hang in there.
That's all we can tell you.
All righty. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, follow my state. I just created a page, State versus James A. Barker, and I'm going to be keeping everybody updated on my court dates, and might give you snippets from the court dates so you can see the actual corruption that's going on. So if you think I'm lying, you're looking at me like he's a crook, he look like one, or whatever you think of me, you're going to see who the real crooks is. They come in all shapes, sizes, and skin colors, and everything.
All right.
All right.
We'll see you next week. Thanks for being here.